Well, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. We did about a 6-hour drive last night. We got up here to Lake Kawana, stayed at the cabins, and I think we're going to do another 6 hours today. That'll get us to Prosy, and we'll have a fish there tonight. And then another 6 hours again the next day, and we'll go fish Tinaroo that night. So looking pretty forward to fish Prosy. Beautiful morning. The weather is like super cold, so fishing wouldn't be that good, but it's nice to wake up to. I just pulled up at Prosy for the night, just setting up at the camp here. It's only like $15 to stay here. Gonna head out for a fish. Let's hope we get a few big barra on board, and yeah, then head to Tinaroo the next day. Living it. Have a go at this wind. My swag just blew over. We slept here last night, and the corners of this swag are lifting up. Mental. And we need it. Look at the trees. It's blowing so hard. Well, we have arrived at the Barra Park Motel. Dad's in the shower, and no luck at Prosy, so got up here. I think it's like 16 degrees at the moment, so she's cold, but we're gonna head out for a fish to the Savi. It's raining. See how we go. It's pretty dark and gloomy outside, but oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Was not ready for that. Oh. Oh man. How's the bite on him? Smoked it. Oh. This is fish. You're joking.
Come on, he's got a big back on him, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yoo-hoo!
Well, he's not that big. I thought he was a bit bigger than that.
Monkey's off the back. First barra Tinaroo. Yeah, look at that. Look at the red claw down there.
Oh wow. That's right back there. Nice fish.
Yeah.
He's having a week. Now guys, this is I think the third barrel we've got in the boat. Pretty tough going, but very, very stoked. 80. He's got another red claw down the shot. I don't think it's out. No way. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. You got the camera on?
Yeah.
Beauty.
Oh! That hit was so hard. Prop 100 point.
He's a horse.
Is he around the tree? Oh my god.
Yeah, baby. That bite. Oh, it's a. Woo.
Meter 8.
106.5. That thing just stumped me so hard.
We called this. Danny.
One on the Samaki bob. Yes. Last night of pre-fish. Eatery there. What do you reckon, Jodie?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Getting back.
First session, Tinaroo, and yeah, pretty nice. Bring game day on.
You.
Trim work? Look at that. That's beautiful.
Right, here we are, day one. Yoshi, we're in the boat. Getting a few bites every day has been tough, but trim motor just carked it, so got a little block of timber under there.
It's a bit of pine.
Yeah, a bit of pine.
Yeah.
So hopefully she holds up, but we've got a trim motor on the water. We're going to pick it up tomorrow and fix the boat. And yeah, hopefully bang a few fish, so see how we go.
Good.
Yeah, Joshy! Yeah, mate.
What was your speed?
Pretty slow. 90. Yeah, baby. How good is that? Yeah. Alright, guys. Number 3. Little 80. We'll take him. How good is that? It's 11:33. Just got another one. 102. That's the night so far. We'll see if we can get one more. They're just starting to fire. Yeah.
20 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go. It's got a 98.
Yahoo!
Vibalicious, doing the damage tonight. Whew, get this back in and race back to the ramp.
Well, day one of the first round is finally over. We had a big night. Everything was going on. It's cold, rainy, and we had a really good night. We're in the lead. We got our bag and we lost one really good fish. So I think we got one metery, 2 90s, and an 80 as well as a little 43. So we just got to try and not lose as many fish tonight and get those bigger ones in the boat, because we've lost a couple of good ones. But pretty scary being in the lead. It's hard to sleep, but not a bad place to be. Good little head start. And yeah, we're going to go into town, pick up this trim motor, fit it to the boat so we got trim, because we just had a block under the engine yesterday. So fit that off and hopefully have a better day today. So see what happens. Joshy's on the job. Yep.
Ready, boat number one. Ready, boat number one, away you go.
Here we go.
It's been a grind.
It's been a grind. It's been real tough tonight. Just started firing up now. Got a 95. Found him craw again.
Good
Let him
colour.
go. Get another one, eh?
Yeah, see how we go, man.
Let's do it.
Well, that wraps up the first round, and we had an awesome time. You know, we weren't expecting to catch any more than 2 fish a day, and day one we ended up getting those 5 fish, which was great. And then yeah, day 2 we sort of slipped off the roller coaster a bit. We ended up only getting 1 fish, but always a cool experience in being the lead after day 1. And yeah, it was a tough night. Like, everything sort of changed on the second night, but we just grinded it out and managed to get that 1 fish. But yeah, we'll roll through to the all-nighter session. It was a pretty long, drawn-out night again. It was hard fishing. And yeah, then we'll go through some of the gear that we used.
Following. Yeah! Big one! Dude, big.
Yep, right now.
There, yeah, baby! Are you kidding me, Josh? Yeah! Look at the size of that big
Oh, it's a donkey!
Yeah! Woo! Oh my god, it just went bang!
Saw it, you said turn, follow, pull.
You skinny one, man. That should get you fired up. Woo! Yeah, baby.
That's got a bit of length to it, doesn't it?
Doesn't he?
He's a skinny fish.
You see, like, you can see his dead looking skinny shape, hey?
Yeah.
Guys, big long skinny one. Just start casting right, maybe 2 foot off the electric. How good is that?
It's so good.
Mate.
Here we go.
Ew.
All-nighter, Lake Tinaroo.
Giant. Check him out.
96. Get him back in the water, eh?
Yep. Yeah, baby. 80. Fan and craw again. Smashing them. This is number 4. Look down there. Oh. Phantom crawl by. Ew. Let's go. All right, so that wraps up the all-nighter. We got another second place, another $750, but awesome experience. You know, great Team of the Year points. We're sitting in the lead for Team of the Year, so can't complain to get those 5 fish again. So stoked, you know, like every fish that we hooked, we ended up getting it in the boat, which was super lucky. It was definitely tough fishing, but you know, all week through practice and everything, we would only sort of get 1 or 2 bites a day, and it wasn't easy. Like, it was really cold weather,
it was probably a moon too early. I know like 2 years ago, in the first 2 years that I did the Tinaroo rounds, we had them in late October and the fishing was awesome, but now it's a bit colder, which made it a bit tougher, which is always a bit fun. I reckon it's a bit of a challenge, so it was always can't really complain about it, but it was just definitely tough fishing. So we had to bring out some techniques and I learned a lot. So that was the cool thing about it being so tough, is I learned a lot about a new technique for me, which is vibing. I've done a lot of it in the past, but I just haven't done too much of it in the dams, and I haven't done that well on them. So it sort of made me focus down on that technique, learn it through practice, and it ended up getting us those 2 second places. So in the afternoons, we found a few spots where you'd find fish on a bank, and I think all week we had consistent sou'easters. So these banks would just be getting peppered all week, just the same wind direction, which was really good. Consistent wind is always really good. And we managed to sort of find fish that would sort of stage out wider while the sun was up. As soon as that sun would start to go down, those fish would disappear, and you'd have about a 10-minute bite window where they'd push up right up on the edge, and they'd get up in maybe 2 to 3 foot of water. Now Tinaroo doesn't have any weed because it goes up and down all year, like because they have avocado farms on it. So there's no grass on the edge. You can cast right up dirt shallow and just wind your lures out. And those barra will push so shallow, pushing bait right up on the edge on dark. And that's sort of what we worked with. So fishing up the shallows, we went with the old ever faithful slickies. That's rigged on a 1/2 ounce. We went with a 1/2 ounce because it was so shallow. And that's the old SL12 hook there. These trebles, you can get them at Barra, Jackson, Kawana. They're awesome. They're called Shout trebles. And I think it's a size 1, 100-pound split ring on that. They're an ugly looking lure, but if you impound with barra fish, you know that this thing is probably one of the best lures. They always get bit. That's always a bit of a go-to for me, that and the old Reddick. And yeah, so that's what got us our afternoon bites. And then after dark, a lot of these spots where those fish were staging up and feeding, they would just disappear. So kind of, it was a bit frightening because I was driving around the dam all night trying to find these areas where the fish would stage at night, and ended up finding one bank. And I worked up and down it a couple of times, fishing. It was probably about 1 kilometre long, and I'd fish the whole section. And right down the bottom end, there was a big rock flat, and you could see it on live scope how real hard bottom, nice sort of solid rock flat. And for about 10 minutes, you'd see the fish that on live scope, they'd be cruising through like this. And then for 10 minutes, they'd go nose down. You'd see the shadow go nose down, and they'd creep real slow. And what they were doing was they were like looking down in those little rock holes on that, because it was a rubble rock flat. And they would just look down in the rock, and they were hunting red claw. And a lot of the fish we caught had red claw down the throat. And that's when we switched up to the vibe. And we tried a few different colors. I tried white bait, some black colors, some solid black colors, some bright colors as well. But one color that stood out the most was this phantom crawl color. So this is the Samaki 100mm, and they stock come with YS81 size 4 trebles on there. So these things are built tough. I actually only used one vibe the whole tournament and all practice, so probably 8 or 9 days fishing straight. Caught me heaps of fish, so that's what they look like new. And that's how this one turned out. Still looks pretty good, and it still catches fish, still swims. I just kept changing the hooks out every day just so they're nice and sharp. But man, they're such an awesome lure, and the technique for these in the dams is so crazy because you're imitating red claw. In the past, when we fish in the salt, we'd do long drawn lifts and just let them slow drift down and get fish like that. You'd probably pull the bait maybe 2 or 3 foot off the bottom. But when these fish are so shut down because we had such cold weather, they only wanted slight movement. So this vibe, what we did is we just sort of slightly hop it, and you pretty much didn't want the lure to vibe. You'd almost just want it to just bounce, almost like it's a little red claw fleeing, and then you kept your line tight just so it'd sink nice and slow. And that was just the ultimate red claw imitation. Really good hook up with those 2 sets of trebles. Like, they just scoff it down their throat and then they don't miss it. We didn't fish the hardlicious because, well, we tried it, but it was a bit too deep. We were fishing 14 foot of water. So we'd find fish and you need to get that lure in front of them as soon as you can. So that's what was really good about this vibe. And because they are so spooky, they're actually so tuned into these lures now. is if you seen one, even though it's 14 foot of water, if you landed in front of him, about a meter in front of him, and let it sink down, he would just turn the other way and swim away. So we had to find the fish, and then you'd cast probably 20 foot in front of him and past him, feather the cast so it just slow down, hit the water nice and soft, and let it sink nice and slow, hit the bottom, and wait for the fish to swim through. And what would happen, you'd hope that the fish would keep swimming that direction. If they turned off, you'd have to wind in, recast, but if they kept going that direction, you'd have to gauge where your lure is and hop it past, nice and slow, super subtle, and they'd just smoke it. So it was, you'd either spook them, which was 99% of the time, or you'd catch them. So, and on the spin, use a spin rod for the old vibes. You can't really go past the spin rod for them. I like to use my bait casters for all my swim baits, plastics, and jerk baits and stuff, but the old spin rod, you need that nice quick turn on the handle when you're hopping, and it's just nice and smooth. And this is the 10 to 17 pound Samaki C12, so awesome stick. You can use this on the hardlishes as well. Just pair that up with a 4000 spin reel. 50 pound X-Braid, that's the upgrade pentagram. This stuff is awesome. We had it rubbing through trees, no issues at all. And I want to go quickly through with the leader that we use. I fished a lot of 60 pound and 70 pound fluorocarbon, which didn't really get any bites until I swapped down to this lighter X-Braid material. So this is what they call their slim and strong. It's a thinner leader for the strength of it. So this is a 52 pound fluorocarbon, and it is a bit more wirier, so it's a bit tougher, but it's thinner. And what this would allow the vibe to do was sort of swim a bit better. It'd make less noise in the water, like it wouldn't vibrate in the water as much as those thicker leaders. And I use that on my Redix as well now when I'm using fluorocarbon, just because it's so thin. And what we do, tie an FG knot, and when your leader comes off the spool, on every fluorocarbon spool, it's gonna come up curled up. So a little trick I learned a little while ago, which I haven't told many people, is you gotta stretch it out. Because if you don't stretch it out, when you're suspending your jerk baits, it'll just coil back together and pull the jerk bait away from the barrel and suspend. And same with your vibes, it just won't swim right. So you just gotta, as soon as you tie up a fresh new leader, you gotta get every bit of it, stretch it out, so that when it relaxes, it's all nice and straight. And that was super key, that fluorocarbon being so thin and was still so wiry and strong. Got those big meter plus fish in still. And for the swim baits, we're just fishing the Samaki Zings. I like the Zings a bit more for the plastics because they're a bit more of a stiffer blank to the C12s. They've got a little bit less tip, which is good to drive those big hooks in. This is a 10 to 20 pound 7-footer. It's really good all-rounder for those smaller plastics like the slick rigs and all that sort of stuff. Hollow bellies and all that. And just paired that with a 200 size bait cast reel. 50 pound X-Braid again. I don't go any lighter than 50 pound. You don't need to, because this stuff is so thin and it casts so well. Tie's really good with bigger leader still, and we end up running just the generic 70 pound fluorocarbon on this stuff. So you can go the slim and strong, but the standard old X-Braid 70 pound works well. But yeah, so those were the two gun lures, the old Slicky and Vibelicious. So the good thing about both these lures is you can get a lot of fish out of each one of them. So you only often sort of change the trebles out and that sort of stuff. But yeah, that was it was an awesome tournament. Cool to get 2 second places, and we're rolling into the next couple rounds pretty soon. So we're about a month off it, and we got the few rounds at Prosy as well as Team Brew and Kinchin, and we just need 2 more good events and we might get Team of the Year. So I think Pete and Benny are behind us at the moment in 2nd place, but it might be Steve and Nicole actually. But yeah, it's been a tough year. I think Awonga, we got 3rd place there with only 3 fish or 4 fish, and that was over 3 days. And then even this event, I think we were the only team to catch 5 fish in both events. The only team that got their bag was the boys who won the 2nd event, and it just goes to show how tough it is. So getting your bag is a huge thing because you get your extra 5 points for Team of the Year. And yeah, we'll see how we go. We just got to pull our fingers out, do well in the next couple of events, and fingers crossed we can get a Team of the Year and hopefully get a win for the year. We've got 2 seconds and a 3rd. So rolling on a good slope, going uphill, which is awesome. But we'll see how we go. I'm going to post some more YouTube videos for the end of the tour, and we'll see you there.